What if the most convincing victim in a courtroom turned out to be the biggest fraud of all? The courtroom recording captured a moment so unbelievable, it would later spread across the internet and reignite public trust in justice. Olivia Whitmore entered the courtroom like she was stepping onto a stage. At 48 years old, dressed in designer sunglasses and gripping a spotless white cane, she moved with exaggerated hesitation, stumbling slightly, reaching out too far, her posture carefully crafted to resemble what she believed blindness looked like. Every step felt rehearsed, every movement deliberate. To the untrained eye, it was convincing. But to someone who had spent decades reading people, it was a performance. And not a very good one. Olivia had spent the last 6 months living a lie. She claimed that one morning, her vision had vanished, completely and permanently, due to a rare medical condition. Since then, she had collected disability payments, gained sympathy from everyone around her, and now, she was here to collect something even bigger, 125,000, her target. Barbara Chen, a small business owner who had hired Karen as a bookkeeper just 8 months earlier. According to Olivia, Barbara had fired her the moment she became blind. According to Olivia, it was discrimination, cruel, illegal, heartless. And now she wanted justice, or at least a payout. But Barbara Chen told a very different story. A story that didn't involve tragedy, but deception. Barbara sat quietly at the defense table, her face tired, her posture tense. She hadn't built her business overnight. It took years of sacrifice, savings, and sleepless nights. And now, she was being dragged into court over something she insisted never happened. At first, when Olivia claimed she was losing her sight, Barbara had shown compassion. She offered flexibility, support, understanding. But then, things stopped making sense. Employees reported seeing Olivia driving. Security footage showed her moving through the office without hesitation. She claimed she couldn't read documents, yet was seen scrolling through her phone like nothing was wrong. And when Barbara finally confronted her, Karen didn't explain. She threatened a lawsuit 2 weeks later. It arrived, and since then, Barbara had spent $12 defending herself against what she believed was a complete lie. Now, everything came down to this moment, inside a courtroom under bright lights, with cameras rolling, and at the center of it all, Judge Lauren. She had already spent 2 days reviewing the case, and something about it didn't sit right. Not the paperwork, not the timeline, not Olivia. Because in over 25 years on the bench, Judge Loring had seen every kind of lie imaginable. But this felt different, more calculated, more insulting, because this wasn't just fraud. This was someone pretending to live a life that millions of people actually struggle through every single day. And that was personal. Still, Judge Lauren said nothing as Karen continued her performance. Fumbling papers, knocking over a cup of water, reacting as if even the smallest inconvenience was overwhelming to some in the courtroom. It looked real, but to Judge Lauren, it looked like cracks, tiny ones at first, but cracks all the same. And cracks always spread. Judge Lauren leaned forward slightly, her voice calm, direct, sharp. "Mrs. Whitmore, you're asking for $125,000. Tell me about your condition." Olivia took a breath and began her story. She spoke of waking up one morning to darkness, of doctors diagnosing a rare condition, of losing everything overnight. Her independence, her career, her life. Her voice trembled at the right moments, paused at the right times, every word carefully placed. It was convincing almost. But as she spoke, Judge Lauren wasn't listening to the story. She was watching the storyteller. And what she saw didn't match. Not the way Karen gestured, not the way she turned her head, not the way her body reacted to the space around her. Something was off, and Judge Lauren knew it. But she didn't interrupt, not yet. Because sometimes, the fastest way to expose a lie is to let it keep talking. Karen finished her statement, confident she had set the stage perfectly. The courtroom was quiet, tense, waiting. And then Judge Lauren shifted her gaze toward Barbara Chen. Miss Chen, your response, Barbara swallowed, took a breath, and said something that would change everything. I didn't fire her because she was blind. A pause. I fired her because she was lying. The room froze, and just like that, the performance was about to be tested.